What's up, people? This is RGC and welcome back. I've got another video for you. As promised, for the last month or two, I'm actually going to do a recent gaming for my PlayStation 2 collection. Over the last year, I played through quite a few PlayStation 2 games. I decided to dedicate at least a year to 2 years to working through my large PlayStation 2 collection. And I've been randomly picking out games to actually play through, and I'm going to get into that in one moment. First up, I'm going to do a few pickups here. This is not a pickup video, but I figure I should at least show some of the things I have acquired. I think that is one of the main attractions to a lot of people's gaming channel. Seeing what actually people are picking up and what they're buying and playing and whatnot. So I'll give you a little taste of that. Recent pickup here, we have Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb collection. This is my second copy of this game. Surprisingly, it's not like rare or anything, but it kind of does hold its value. It's more pricey than the Williams collection, pinball collection for the Wii. And I don't see this game that commonly around where I live. So I tend to pick it up. It's about a $15 to $20 game, and you wouldn't expect that. And especially at a price of just $4, it's complete good condition, minty case. Why not? I kind of like the more odd, I guess I can say kind of obscure Wii titles. Recent pickup for PlayStation 2. I don't know if this was in my last video or not. I don't remember. But I got Shining Force EXA. I'm really happy to get this strategy RPG out of the way. I'm really heavily into PlayStation 2 RPGs. Straight from the PlayStation 1. You know, it started off with the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. This is just where the RPGs are. Especially JRPGs and strategy RPGs and whatnot. It's not with the competition. It's with Nintendo and it's with Sony. If you like RPGs, it's just the place to be. Something from Sega, and as you know, I'm not a big Sega guy, haven't really been for a long time. Sega, all they pretty much had that ever interested me was Shining Force and Phantasy Star and Sonic and Streets of Rage and Golden Axe. Other than that, I've never really been too interested into Sega, but happy to have this game. Not a cheap game either, so happy to have it. Only paid 15 bucks for it. It's like a $40 to $50 game. Recent pickup, we have Saturday Night Speedway. It's only $4. About a $15 to $20 game. Don't see it that frequently. Kind of looked it up on Rarity Guide. It's kind of up there. It's not a common title, so happy to have it. Does look pretty interesting, and yeah. Moving on, got another Wii pickup, WarioWare Smooth Moves. At one time, this game was pretty hard to find, but I do have it. I went on and bit the bullet yesterday exactly. Paid about 15, 16 bucks for it at GameStop, but it's in good condition. Little indentation, a few right there, but everything's complete inside, good condition. Happy to have it. Another pickup, we got PlayStation 2 Ghost in the Shell, the standalone complex. Happy to have it. By Bandai. A lot of the Bandai games, as well as the Atari published games, kind of have a low print run. So that's kind of something to watch out for if you're ever just browsing through you know, PlayStation 2 games and you just want to pick something out that you think maybe could be good or might hold some value. I kind of just like looking for the odd, the uncommon to the rare disc-based games, because not a lot of people are into that and a lot of people don't know what to look for. But you know, just keep an eye on the publishers, and that could be a good hint to the print run size. Back to Sega again. Got a Sega CD game, Wild Woody. I'll pay 3 bucks for complete good condition. I'll be the first one to tell you. Back in the 90s, I only got a Sega CD for one game, and it's Sonic CD. But happy to have this kind of odd platformer. You know, Sega CD is not known for having a lot of good games, but whatever. Looks cool. Only $3. It's like a $30 game, so I'm happy to have it. Wasn't expecting to run across this. Got Conquer Live and Reloaded. This is basically a remake of the original for the N64. A lot of people say this version is better. I don't necessarily think so, because it's more edited and more clean than the N64 version. And you wouldn't expect that, but it is. They cleaned up a lot of the stuff. But anyway, happy to have it. Use some trade credit at a local store to get it. About a $40 game, 40 to 50, just depending. But traded stuff in. I didn't plan on using or playing, and walked out with this. So happy to have it. Got another copy of one of my favorite N64 games, and that is Extreme G. My original box from childhood, as well as the manual and whatnot. I have it stored away, so now I have a loose copy that I can just play without putting more wear and tear on my box. And got Harvest Moon 64. This is a label upgrade for me. This is happy to have this game. Use trade-in credit at local store as well to get this. So didn't have to pay eBay or retail. Just traded stuff in. So we got the pickups out of the way, and this won't even be labeled as a pickup video. But recently I've been playing through games, as I stated before, and I'm gonna give you a little rundown of them. These are not reviews. This is gonna be as quick as possible, but this video in total length may be pretty long. First up, the most recent game I completed was God Hand. Yes, quirky game, beat 'em up, 3D beat 'em up, published by Capcom, developed by Clover Studio, late PlayStation 2 release, low print run, pretty expensive game, at least by PlayStation 2 standards. You play this guy, Gene, he's a protagonist. Some thugs or enemies, bad guys, they end up chopping his arm off in some incident where he was trying to save the female heroine of the game, or the female in the game, the main one. And she happens to be the protector of God Hands, as well as the Devil Hand, which the Devil Hand comes into play later on. But she entrusts him with the God Hand, and he goes about trying to seek out the bearer of the Devil Hand, just trying to defeat the bad guys. This game does not take itself seriously. It pokes fun at a lot of, pop culture issues. Pop culture media forms and whatnot. Movies, shows. It's a good game. One of the main complaints I have about it is the camera angle. In my opinion, it's a little bit too close to Gene, and the lock-on can be kind of questionable sometimes when it comes to fighting a group of enemies. But the cool thing about the game is that the difficulty is adaptive. The better you do, the more challenging the game gets. I beat the game on normal mode. It's pretty rough, but once you get the combos down, there's well over 100 moves you can use. You have the God Reel, which is special moves that Gene can use from a roulette wheel that you can just buy the moves and you acquire them throughout the game. It's pretty cool game. I'm not trying to review it. As stated before, it is a mature game. It is M-rated, not appropriate for real children, but it is hilarious. It's over the top. It's a good game. So happy to have it. Happy to have completed it. Longer than I thought it would be. It's a beat 'em up, of course, 3D beat 'em up, but it took me about 20 hours to get through it and get all the moves that I wanted. I used quite a few continues. I'm not even gonna lie about it, but in the end, it was a very rewarding game to complete. So have to have that one taken care of. As stated before, I collect games, but I actually play what I buy. So have to have that one completed. As stated in the other video I did recently, I played through Musashi Samurai Legend, or Samurai Legend Musashi, however you want to say it. This is the sequel to the original Brave Fencer Musashi on PlayStation 1. Nice action RPG, good music, thoroughly enjoyed it. Bright colors, cel shaded. I used to hate back, at least I can say this, I did not like cell shaded games back in the day, but later on in the PlayStation 2 lifespan, the cell shaded games are pretty good. And this is an example. Square Enix, they published a pretty good game here, so happy to have that one completed as well. I already talked about this one as well before, and that's Samurai Western. Pretty cool action adventure hack and slash game, published by Atlas. Guy displaced from Japan, seeking out his brother, trying to restore peace to the West, trying to keep this guy from taking over the West, as well as the United States eventually. Yeah, you brought a sword to a gunfight, but he's well equipped to handle the task. So happy to have this completed. It was a fun game, plenty of RPG elements. You can level up your character, customization, great game. Happy to have it. One of the few PlayStation 2 platforms, Klonoa Lunity's Veil. I did a video specifically about this game. Good game. Cannot recommend it enough. Yes, it's bright. Yes, it's colorful. Yes, you may not think it's, adult appropriate or a mature game. Yeah, sure, it's not, but it's a good game. I really don't care what people think. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite games overall, so happy to have it completed. Not cheap though, but happy to have completed it. Great platformer. Low print run on that Klonoa, by the way. Mega Man X7, pretty much the scourge of the existence of Mega Man games. Some people say this is the worst Mega Man game. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as I remember it being back in like 2003 or so when I first got the game. It is bad though. The worst thing about it to me is I like to play as Zero. I prefer Zero's hack and slash, kind of get up on him and just, go at it. I really don't like the distance based attacks from X, but Zero is so slow on this game. I really don't like that. The first stage the intro stage is really painful to play. The controls are kind of convoluted, and the aiming is bad, and it just plays so slow. I just don't like it. But later on it gets better, somewhat. It's a platformer, as as well with the other games in the series. I can't recommend it, but it's okay. It's not a cheap game. Pretty cool to have in a collection, especially in this condition, but yeah, I can't recommend it. As far as the voice acting goes, some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard in my life. Another game with bad voice acting. Yeah. No, not Klonoa. That's okay. Where is this game? Yeah, this one back here. Musashi again. These games have terrible voice acting. Simply put, I like this game, but the voice acting, especially Musashi, is horrendous. Voice acting on this game is just trash. So, whatever. Got those completed off that subject. The prequel to one of my favorite games of all time, Zone of the Enders 2. Of course, we have the original, which I've played through within the last year, and that's Zone of the Enders. Good game. You're piloting Jehuti. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, you got orbital frames. Story's kind of complex. It's a mech game. You're in space. You're defeating enemies. You're progressing, trying to keep the galaxy from being overtaken by an evil force or bad guy. It's more complex than that. Has a lot of things that kind of related to social issues. Kind of complex. Hideo Kojima's produced the game. Good game. I can recommend it. I think that game was done at a low print run initially, but it got reprinted, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. And plus, it had the HD remaster, so it's a cheap game, but it's a good game. So good old Konami quality, good stuff. Highly recommended. Great music too. I like the orbital frames and the weapons and whatnot. So pretty cool. You got projectile weapons, and you have melee weapons. It's pretty awesome. You know, especially like with the sword. So that's pretty cool. Stretch Panic beat this one this year. Your little girl, she comes across a possessed scarf, and she happens to run across the scarf around the same time that demons approach her 12 sisters and promise them aesthetic traits they would like, and essentially they get possessed by those demons. So your job is to go fight all 12 of your sisters and extract the demon that is within them. And you do that by utilizing the scarf bomb technique. The game is kind of odd. You have a central hub world. Pretty cool music in there though. It's called like the Museum of Agony or Gallery of Agony or something like that. Anyway, the music's cool. The game is mostly boss fights. They do have other worlds where you go to acquire points so you can enter the doors to fight your sisters. And you do have to use points to utilize the scarf bomb attack. You can play through this game and beat all the bosses, but if you don't extract the demons within your sisters utilizing the scarf bomb attack, the sister is still essentially trapped. You don't beat the game that way. So you have to use the scarf bomb attack. Pretty easy game. Some of the sisters are pretty rough though. I did enjoy the game. Kind of quirky, done by Treasure. You know, they did Gunstar Heroes. They Dynamite Hitty, Mischief Makers, Treasure. They're known for those quirky, odd games. So this is definitely one of them. Not a expensive game by any means. Yeah, about a good $10 game. It's worth it. So pretty cool. Stretch Panic. You can go around stretching things. You can manipulate the environment with your scarf. You defeat enemies in the EX worlds where you acquire points. Yeah, interesting game, definitely. Kind of controversial too. So if you play it, you'll eventually see why it's controversial. But yeah, go pick it up. Did a video about this one. Nano Breaker, hack and slash, not easy. Very little story to be had in this game. Jake Warren, you're utilizing your plasma blade to defeat the enemies that have been taken over by nanotechnology. Bloody, gory game. Pretty cool music, industrial type music, techno. I liked it. It gets a lot of bad ratings and whatnot, but who cares? I think it's a good game. Definitely worth the $5 I spent on it. Good old hack and slash fun. Great Konami stuff. So I enjoyed it. A game I cannot recommend enough. Odin Sphere. Great action RPG. You play through the game as 5 characters. I think overall you have to gradually unlock the characters by beating the game with the earlier characters. I think you start off with the Valkyrie, and then you Gwendolyn, and then you eventually work your way up and play through the other characters. I think, yeah, good game. You can utilize alchemy to make antidotes and potions and stuff to assist you in the boss fights. This game does get kind of challenging in some areas. It's a total sphere. All the characters in the game, their stories are intertwined. It's kind of like a soap opera in a sense. It's kind of like a play. And that little girl right there is actually reading the book that has all of their stories in it. And you're just playing out the story. So it's a good game. This game did reach player's choice status, but you know me, black label of course. I don't fool with that red label garbage. Good game, highly recommended. Yeah, Odin Sphere, great game. Beautiful hand-drawn artwork, great action RPG, highly recommended. Great music, good challenge. Yeah, pick it up. All right, one of the more challenging games I played through within the last year, and that's Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. Notice this is not the special edition. They remade this game easier. And yeah, because people complaining about the game being too hard. Yeah, it's hard, but I mean, if you learn the attack patterns of the bosses, you brush up on your skills, you learn how to do combos, you're pretty much set. But of course, you know me, I want to play through the challenging version. I don't want the easy version. So, good old hack and slash action. Got Dante fighting your brother Virgil later on. You know the Devil May Cry series. Um, Good old hack and slash action. I like it. You utilize various weapons you acquire throughout the game. You utilize your guns as well. It is a challenging game, but it is highly recommended. As stated before, get the original. Don't get the special edition. Not expensive either. Like $7 to $10 game. Prices are relative though, because I mean they adjust all the time. But it's a pretty common game, so you really shouldn't have a problem finding a good copy of it. Now, one of my favorite games I've played within the last year, kind of alongside Odin Sphere, is a Mega Man Command Mission, Mega Man X Command Mission. This game took place between the events of Mega Man X7 and Mega Man X8. Cell shaded, turn-based RPG, good game. I enjoyed it. Good story, excellent soundtrack. Pretty simple control-wise. It's a rather linear RPG. Not a lot of guesswork. Just wandering around aimlessly, like on a lot of RPGs that are too open-ended. This one, it kind of gives you a general direction. It's a good introduction to turn-based RPGs, and plus featuring characters from my favorite franchise of pretty much all time. That's Mega Man. Highly recommended. This game did come out on the GameCube as well. As far as which one is more valuable or not, it kind of just fluctuates. But both of them had a more on the uncommon side, lower print run. Because especially later on in the Mega Man X series, a lot of people wiped hands clean of Mega Man X after like Mega Man X5. So, you know, they gradually start doing less copies of the games. But great turn-based RPG. The game is basically about people trying to acquire force metals, which gives the Reploids, which are essentially robots or mechanical beings with reasoning, with feelings, and it's really deep game. It's deeper than what you probably would think. But the cool thing about the game is at least at one time, I think you have a party up to 6 people. You can switch them in and out of battle. The boss designs are cool. The enemy designs are cool, at least most of them. Some good plot twists, but kind of expected if you know the Mega Man X series. One of the characters that you would think really wouldn't be that that offensively gifted, which is Cinnamon, and she turns out to be your best asset, essentially, alongside Zero and X when they get their hyper mode or ultimate armors, excuse me. Cinnamon, tell you how to beat the game. It's simple. You need kitty gloves, you need cutting edge, unlock limiter, boost power, and boost speed. There you go. Knocking the enemy stats down, that's how you walk through this game. It's about knocking the stats down. It's not so much necessarily about your offensive power. It's about knocking the enemy stats down. You slow them down to where you can always get your attacks in more frequently. You try to take their turns. That's how you do it. Good game, highly recommended, but not that expensive. Actually considered to be one of the best Mega Man X games is Mega Man X8. Those, of course, who stuck around after the later Mega Man X games that were seen as being pretty bad. Not a bad game. It's definitely a step in the right direction after Mega Man X7. Good game, platformer, cool story. You can actually use other characters after you beat the game with these 3 here, Axel, X, and of course Zero. Going back to Mega Man X7 for a second, one problem that a lot of people have with X7 is you can't even use Mega Man when you start the game. You have to use Axel. Mega Man X7 is basically about Axel, just being point blank honest with you. Anyway, good game, good platformer, Highly recommend it. Yeah, worth picking up. About $30 game. All right, and finally, last game on PlayStation 2 I played within the last year is of the Warriors. It's you know, a way of enacting the events of the movie The Warriors, New York. I think 1979. Yeah. Anyway, pretty cool game. I liked it. It's kind of challenging though. Um, Kind of beat 'em up action adventure game. It kind of goes along with the movie. It's a fun game, some humor in there, but it's violent. Definitely a mature rated game, but I do like the game. I do recommend picking this game up. About a $20 to $30 game. This game did reach player's choice status as well, but I recommend getting the black label. Looks good, good condition, good game. You fight the enemy gangs, at least a lot of them, from the movie. You got the Baseball Furies right there. I guess that's one of the Lizzies, or I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. But it's plenty of other gangs in there. You got the Jones Street Boys. You got the AC Turnbulls. Pretty much everybody, most of the gangs in the movie, you end up fighting them at one point. Yeah, the Moon Runners. Yeah. Anyway, the Punks. I can go on and pretty much name all of them, but I'm not gonna get in that. But a cool game, definitely recommend it. Worth picking up. So that's my PlayStation 2 gameplay that I've been dealing with or going through the last year or so. Now I'm up to deciding what game I'm going to play next, and it's pretty much down to either Robot Alchemic Drive, Blood Will Tell, or let's see, Ys, the Ark of Naphthalene. Anyway, I'm not the best with pronouncing stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, this is pretty much what I plan on playing through next. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching and sticking through this video with me. Kind of long-winded, yeah, I know, but kind of just want to elaborate on my gaming within the last year. As stated before, I'm about playing the games, not just letting them sit on a shelf. I was watching Metal Jesus Rocks. He recently did a video about, do people really just get these games, just sit them on a shelf, or do they actually play them? You know, these are works of art. This is art you can experience. This is something you can play, interact with. And I think it's best served, its purpose, if you actually play it. That's what it's for, not to just sit sealed on a shelf or something like that. And I know we got sealed collectors, that's cool. But, you know, to each his or her own. It's cool to have some sealed copies of games, yeah, but I mean, I want to have some open copies too to play, you know. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching. Feel free to comment, rate, subscribe. I'm trying to, as stated, slow down on the pickups, but I keep watching more videos and finding more games I want to buy, so I might need to slow down on that. But I am making pretty good progress though on my PlayStation 2 collection. Probably going to continue to play through PlayStation 2 games this year. Eventually move on to going back to my PlayStation 1 collection. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching. Recently hit 2,000 subscribers or followers on my Instagram, so that's a big milestone for me. I remember just hitting 100, and that took forever. I thought I'd never get to 1,000, but I did, and now I'm at 2. But that's just pretty much all that's going on. Anyway, thanks for watching. Best of luck. Hit me up down there if you got any suggestions, comments, whatnot. Good luck to my fellow collectors and gamers out there, and peace.